Welcome again, football fans. This is the Normal Podcast. As usual, please take a seat on the couch and let us wrap things up in the English Premier League. We're going to start from yesterday, Saturday, because it has been a great weekend of football. So let's go back to yesterday. Arsenal went to Ellen Road and they got a 4-0 win over Leeds United. Now, and I saw some fans out here, in social media, they're talking about, well, it's Leeds. And so what? Yes, it is Leeds. But should I remind some of you that Leeds drew home and away with Liverpool? They drew with Manchester United, who are currently sitting in fourth position, and I'm going to get to them in a bit. All right. And they also had a 3-1 victory over Chelsea. So Leeds has been a very difficult team. When you look at the table, they have 26 points, and they're sitting closer to that relegation. Let me just hold on a second. Let me just make sure I'm on the right page with this one as well. uh, EPL table. Yes, 26 point. They're 16th, Forest 17th, and they both have 26 points. This EPL has been super competitive. So you are seeing certain teams in these positions, and you think they're bad teams. No, they are really not bad teams. And I'm saying the EPL. All right, not talking about any other league, but the way the Premier League has been this season, these teams can actually give you a lot of headaches. So for Arsenal to go to Ellen Road, all right, score 4 goals, conceded 0, and extended the lead, and it played out in their favor because today Aston Villa didn't win. They lost, and also Manchester City was only able to get a draw at White Hart Lane. So I mean, that was a very good win for Arsenal. And when you also consider the fact that they played midweek in the Champions League, do not give me where it was Kyrie Almaty. And so what? If you have to play in the Champions League, all right, it doesn't matter who your opponent is. And they played very well. And they had a good win. But it is obviously going to tell on your exertion level. So for them to go and play like that and played very well. Now, let us forget about the score line for a second. All right, which was obviously impressive. The performance itself was super impressive. It's not the typical thing that we saw where there's a lack of composure. They're looking timid, they're in hurry and whatnot. No, they were calm, they were composed. All right, they just kept knocking on the door until they saw the cracks on the wall, and then continued to pound and pound and pound. They were very patient until the chances started to come. And that is the Arsenal I would personally love to see, because if they want to go on and win this league, it requires a lot of composure under pressure. I don't know if this was because, as I've said, this is a good team, difficult to beat, right? But, can't really compare them to Liverpool, Manchester United, and maybe Chelsea, all right? Or even Manchester City, because these are the big boys. These are the big boys. And what we have seen with this Arsenal team is when they played against Liverpool, they panicked. When they played against Manchester United, they panicked. And both games were at the Emirates. When they played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, obviously they were timid. They could not even take advantage of the fact that Chelsea was playing a man down. So they looked very, very, very comfortable yesterday. But again, like I said, I don't know if it is because of Leeds. I know I have spent a lot of time on Arsenal, but they are the lead leaders. They deserve it. Let us go to some other games. Now, to Chelsea. Oh, I did an entire episode on this one. Now, this is football ecstasy. That that is exactly how I called it. Because a comeback like this is super impressive. And when you sit there as a fan, all right, your two goes down and your team is not playing well, it is like almost all hopes is gone. All right. That is the truth. So for your team to come back and play an entirely different type of game, all right, top performance, and was able to get one, not just one, level things up, and then go on to get a win. Amazing. So congratulations to Chelsea. That's a good win. And Liverpool. Liverpool also got a very convincing win, 4 goals to 1 against Newcastle. Now, with Liverpool, I think they're coming back. And generally, I think the big teams are slowly getting things together, with the exception of Manchester City. And I'm going to get to them. But especially for players like Florian Wirtz, all right? And Hugo Ekitike started really well, pretty well. All right. For some reason, Andy Slot was keeping him on the bench. I don't know the reason why, because he was scoring goals at the start of the season. But Hugo Ekitike, God, he has he has taken a couple of steps. All right, like he is on form. He is only getting better. So if he is getting better, even more so, and then Florian Wirtz, right, has started to show that okay, this is the guy we paid that money for. This is what he can do. Well, I think it is a good sign for Liverpool. But he was playing really good, but not really producing the assists and the goals. Well, now the assists and the goals are getting along. So with the performance. So at the end of the day, and Mo Salah is beginning to look like, all right, this is the old Mo Salah. And things are getting serious. This is the business end of the EPL. So that is a good sign for a team like Liverpool. Is a good win. And also, although Newcastle themselves played in the Champions League, but it's always good when you play in the Champions League and you go back, you're playing your domestic game and you're winning those games. So big time congratulations for Arsenal, Liverpool, as well as Chelsea, especially Chelsea, because they had that 3-2 comeback against Napoli again in the Champions League, and that was a massive clash. All right, Napoli, let's not forget, they are the Serie A defending champion. All right, and they needed that win because, again, that could have given them an opportunity to get in that playoff phase of the Champions League. Let's keep it moving. And I'm going to focus on three games pretty much: the Aston Villa game, the Manchester United game, and the Tottenham game. Now, for Villa game, to be honest, I did not watch this game. I did not watch this game. But when I looked at what happened here, I'm absolutely very much disappointed because this is not a typical Villa. And for you to play with a man advantage and you're home and you're supposed to be a contender. And I remember asking the question here, is Aston Villa a contender or they are just pretenders? And I would like I would like to know what you think, right? But this is bad for an Aston Villa team who is looking at least, making some difficulties for Arsenal or perhaps Manchester City. I think this was just a poor loss. Now, Manchester United. GGMU. GGMU, I think this is the third consecutive win in the English Premier League. And only Chelsea has managed that as well. So there are two of the EPL teams to have three consecutive wins in the last three games. And it's not just about a win for this Manchester United team, but they have been playing better. They have been looking good. And I don't want to jinx it, but they could finish top four. They could finish top four. And I have been saying this. Remember when they were having that bad form of run, right? When they missed a lot of opportunities. The Nottingham Forest, the Spurs game, the Everton, the Western game, and who else? I don't remember quite well, right? I was like, no, Manchester United. Those are the games you're supposed to win. But I mean, those were the days of Amorim. But however, they have been looking very good. Very good. And with that performance against Arsenal and against Manchester City and against a very good Fulham team, I think we have to look out. We have to look out. And if you get a guy like Matthias Cunha, who's getting on his score sheet back to back, right? He's feeling good. Then I think Manchester should be feeling good. And this was won by Benjamin Sheshko. So GGMU, congratulations. And you guys are fourth. I hope this is not just some kind of and then you guys started to lose games again. We'll see what happened there. Now, let us wrap things up with the Spurs and Manchester City game. Now, this ended 2 each. All right, 2 apiece. And you don't have to be a Manchester City fan for you to actually feel this decision. All right, this goal that was allowed in favor of Spurs. I mean, that is horrible. That was. I don't even want to call it a mistake. I don't really think that's a mistake. Okay, if you're the on-field ref, it's okay. You can miss certain calls, and that is the reason why we have VAR. All right, because at first I did not see that in real time. I did not see that myself, so that is okay. All right, Rob Jones missed the call. Okay, but when you watch a replay, you only need one replay, and then you will see that was a foul. Plain and simple. But for whatever reason, the goal was not disallowed. I don't know. I don't know. And for me, these are the type of calls that are actually leading to questions about what is actually happening. Because it's not even close. It's not even close. Real time, okay. But when you go to VAR, it's not close. That is a brief look. It was a foul on Magay. Plain and simple. So I think Manchester City was cruising 2-0. I think they were comfortable. They were moving the ball. They were very comfortable because Spurs played a poor first half. And when they came back second half, it was not like, okay, they just got significantly better. I think that goal actually, gave Spurs some belief. All right. It just injected some level of confidence in the team and they started to play. All right. Manchester City, granted, they should have maintained their composure, try to get back in the game. All right. But we can't say that is their fault. It's not their fault. So from 2-0, you're very comfortable. It affects the way you play. When you're 2-0, when you're leading 2-0, you are very patient. All right. Your build up is slow, it is clean, it is timely, and you're just waiting so you can pick your moments. And when you're 2-0 down, as the clock continues to tick, you're playing in a hurry. And that is going to play to the advantage of your opponent because now you're moving bodies forward, you're leaving spaces behind. So your opponent is going to take advantage of those spaces you're leaving behind. And one team that is very good at doing that is Manchester City. So, however you want to look at it, one disallowed goal, all right, or one goal that should have been disallowed, I should say, just changed all. I don't want to say I don't just want opinion on that, but it might have. I would say it might have just changed the outcome of today's game. But it is what it is. It is football. We are talking about it now because there was again. I don't want to call it a mistake. That was a bad decision. That was a very very bad decision. By VAR, and that is the reason why we're talking about it. But it is disappointing. If you're a Manchester City fan, I think this is really like just snatching your soul. I mean, I know how much I love my team. All right. And for moving from a 2-0 comfortable win to a draw, all right, in a title race that is very, very tough, I think that is bad. That is bad. But, anyways, it is what it is. We move. We move. Well, I think that's about it for the English Premier League. Let us take the journey to La Liga.